ditch the pick for this one. I'm gonna use some nails when we need it, some kind of hard part of our thumb. But that is the beginning of this intro. I know it sounds out of tune, but that's kind of what makes it. Of course, I'm talking about Vultures by John Mayer. And how did I get this tone? Well, this is the Donner Hush X Pro. I unboxed it here for your viewing pleasure, but it's really easy to assemble. As you can see, this thing kind of just clips right in there, and very easy to travel with, as you can see there with the case. Very sturdy. I'm not being gentle with it. Got a pickup selection here, real pickups that you can change in the software here that's in the guitar. These knobs will adjust things. This is like volume and tone, just like a regular guitar. But then we have this magical knob, which does a couple things I'll show you. Try and dial in all the different pickup configurations and tones in this guitar to emulate my 5 favorite simple guitar solos that any guitar player can learn, and practice your bends in the process. I don't know, I'm sure I came up with a better title than that, but that's what I'm working with so far. That's the idea in my head. Bending is so important. As a guitar player, it's your fingerprint. So I'm starting with literally the first preset, A1. Pushing this knob will go between 3 presets, and twisting it will go A through F. You could click 3 different presets within each bank. As you can see, A1 is our starting point. We can edit each of these individual presets, as you can see, dry, effects, tone. But I like this amp sound, the twin, so I can change the level, maybe add a tiny bit more gain for myself. I am playing with my fingers for this part after all. Let's say I want to add a little bit of overdrive, maybe a TS9 style. I'm going to add a little bit of reverb as well. How about some hall reverb? I'll just crank that up a tiny bit, give myself a nice comfortable bed to play on. Now as you can see, we got the drive, the amp, and the reverb selected. We also have a tap tuner, Bluetooth connection. You can charge the guitar USB-C, got a headphone input right here, and of course I'm using this as a typical guitar. And if you look here, there's this tone setting where you can choose pickup configurations. So Les Paul, Tele, Strat. I'm gonna go with a Strat. It was set on normal, I'm gonna go with a Strat. Just out of curiosity, let's see what a Les Paul would sound like. A Les Paul pickup configuration. Way hotter, because it's humbuckers. Les Paul is actually kind of cool, but I'm going to stick with the Strat for this one, and even if it's simple, it's fundamental, and it's fun, I would say. Just like this guitar, it's very simple and yet very fun. I just love that solo. The beginning here, you kind of get it differently every time. It's kind of better when it's a little off. You can get different timbres with where you kind of rake into it, where you are around the pickup. If you hit your nail like that, or you can make it really round with leaving the nail out. So a lot in the fingers for this solo, and of course the very precisely out of tune but in tune bends, you know what I mean? That would be in tune. This is just so much better in my opinion. Mayer's a master of the bend, so no finer place to start than this tune. Vultures, a very simple solo anybody can learn and work on their bends. There's a lot of cool features about this guitar, by the way. Adjustable string height, replace steel for neck stability, and this C-shaped neck is super comfortable, rounded pinstripes. It doesn't hurt my hands going up and down the neck, and with 4 different electric guitars, 3 different types of acoustic guitars, 19 different amp sims, and more than 30 guitar effects modules, many different options at your disposal, all in this Donner Hush X Pro. Let's move on to the next solo. We're gonna turn up the gain a bit now. This is literally just the D3 preset. And And as you can hear there, I've been playing the solo for so long, I just have to hear certain notes. Even if they're not there in the solo, my recollection of this solo just forces me to try and make these notes sound out. But I just can't help but play it like that. But yeah, just James Hetfield's attention to detail with these bends, especially the last one. Almost sounds like a, I don't know, just not a guitar. And again, he doesn't play it necessarily like that with his fingers all just like over embellished, but it's just the way I've heard it in my head for so long. So a very simple solo that really helped me out with my bends. Could play it like that, but I'd like it. It's really cool if you can manage to keep this D note ringing out. And that rub, I just love that sound. Hit that open G, play it on the 12th fret. Either way, it just sounds lush when you are perfectly in tune with these bends. James's version. And then the advanced version. Let's go on to another simple solo that helped me practice my bends and is fun to play. Oh man, you're gonna enjoy this one. I love this solo because while it's simple, it actually has a lot of chord changes, so you can get creative if you want to improvise. But why would you want to change anything more beautiful than John Frusciante's very delicate... I just have a very simple kind of strat sound. Can't overuse the word simple in this video, but just bare bones. It's all about the bending and the melody. It's almost like a little animal that you're trying to cage. Really has everything you could want. Those double stops, incredibly memorable. You'll know when you're messing it up if you ever try to learn this solo. You could probably just pick it up right by ear and learn to play it in about 5 seconds. On to another simple solo that will help with those bends. So I mildly embellished this Nirvana solo, of course. It just sounds more expressive. Kirk's solos are basically his vocal melody, so why not make it as vocal as you can? So you could change something like this to something like this. Just adds a little bit of sauce to it, if you will. Makes it a little more memorable. It's like a memory of a memory. It should feel familiar, but have your own twist on it, maybe. And then of course my favorite part of this solo to kind of just mess around with, instead of just playing, I like bending it a little half step. And you can really get that little slur on the end there to emote the vocal quality. This is not for the faint of heart, this move on the D string. Obviously add octaves like I did. we just had this basic sound with the chorus effect, which was perfect. And then we add the TS8 and gives us this gainy sound. Let's move on to another solo. We're gonna get a little bit more rock and roll now. Alright, this one's D1 preset. There's so many great bending pieces in here. Of course, we've seen that one with James Hetfield, but he has a lot more phonetic vibrato right there. Of course, that lick that everybody chooses not to play when they're covering this solo. Why? It's not that hard. Check it out. That's the lick that you want to get down. Just practice that. Because the first part, which is, you know, hard in its own way, but it's just a bend. You don't have to necessarily think about it all like one lick. You break it up. That's how I learn things, at least. Well, there you have it. What is your favorite simple guitar solo that you ever learned? Maybe it helped you out with your bends. That's just a stipulation I put on this because I love bending. I think it's an important thing as an educator. I always try to teach people to bend because I feel like it often gets overlooked. Maybe that's becoming an old adage at this point. Maybe people know all about bending. In any case, check out the Hush X Pro. I've been filming for quite some time using this thing and I still haven't charged it once. So shout out to Donner and the guys. Thanks for sponsoring this video and thank you guys for watching. Until next time, went backwards. Keep shredding.